This is Whiskey Niner, Mike Oscar Echo.
Okay, well, you weren't any louder there, James, when you called. You weren't any louder. And there's another station calling there. The Whiskey 9 station again? Well, I'm at the QSY. The band's getting crazy here. N7ECV, I got a QSY. .470 is the frequency in use. Anybody using this one? Anybody using this one? Is the frequency in use? All right, let's give it a shot. CQ, CQ, CQ. Here is November 7 Echo Charlie Victor. November 7 Echo Charlie Victor. Calling CQ. CQ, CQ, CQ. Here is November 7 Echo Charlie Victor. November 7 Echo Charlie Victor. Calling CQ and listening.
7 Echo Charlie Victor. This is W9 Mike Oscar Echo.
There you are, W9 Mike Oscar Echo. Well, you're about a 3x3, a 3x3 into Washington State. Over.
Yeah, you're a 5x3, 5x3. And how close are you to Everett, where my brother-in-law lives?
Okay, you came up to a 5x3 as well that time. You're loud that time around. Just not very strong, and I'm far away. I'm in the high desert wastelands. It doesn't rain, and there's no trees on this side of Washington State. Over.
I've never been there. This is Ron, Romeo Oscar November, northwest Wisconsin, and I was stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington, for a year. Back in 1961, over.
Oh, wow. It was a completely different era and area down there in the 60s for sure. Yeah, a little different than Fort Lewis even. I'm in between Moses Lake and Wenatchee there. My name is Sean, Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November. Nice picture on QRZ. That's a cool looking little Chinook, I think. Over.
Yep. Yeah, if you read the thing, we bought it now like 23 years ago, bought it new, and it's got 298,000 plus fun miles on it.
Fine business. That's the way to go there. Hey, we've got a rather good connection between the two of us for a few minutes here. Do you mind if I take a couple minutes of your time and give you an on-the-air interview for the YouTube channel there, Ron? Over.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I appreciate the 5x5. This is 5 questions I ask a ham. It's just the same 5 questions and nothing to stir conflict or anything, okay? Oh, you went away, Ron. I hope we can hold this out. I just barely heard you respond there. I'm going to have to stand by until I can hear your reply to the questions anyway there. We'll give it another call here. Can you hear me still, Ron? Over. Boy, doggone it, I can just tell you're replying to me, but I can't hear a word you're saying all of a sudden. The band just went away for a few minutes here. Ain't that the way things go? Give it one more try there, Ron. Let's see if I can hear something you're saying. Over. Yeah, just barely a whisper. 7-3 from Washington. We'll try again when I can hear you, okay? Thanks for being cooperative and wanting to anyway, over. Yep, 7-3 about all I heard on that one. Boy, bummer. That would have been really neat to get to know the story a little bit there, Ron. Thank you again for answering my call. W9 Mike Oscar Echo, Norway 7 Echo Charlie Victor. Boy, 10 meter is in and then it's out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do the best we can here. CQ10 LO 10 meter. This is November 7 Echo Charlie Victoria. 10 and calling. Over.
Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Sierra.
Okay, there were a couple stations there. Alpha 5 Juliet Sierra. I can hear you pretty good. Over.
Okay, very good. Now here's Jim. We're in Abilene, Texas, running about 30 watts.
All right, Jim, out of Abilene, Texas. Well, I've got about 100 watts there, and you're about a 4x4 on the peaks, and then you drop down, okay?
Okay, we got the amp on that help.
That helped a whole bunch there. Yeah, you're solid 5x8, and actually the first station to move the needle on 10 meter this afternoon. Over.
Okay, copy that. Are you Sean? Is that your name?
Yep, that's my name, Sean, and I'm sitting here just playing around on the video and doing interviews on the air. Over.
Yeah, copy that. Well, anyway, you're coming in good here in Abilene. I hadn't listened on 10 for some time. I thought, well, I'm going to tune in here, and I heard you, so I thought I'd give you a shout.
Well, very good. I appreciate you answering the call. Ham radio is definitely a two-way street there, Jim. Hey, I do a thing called 5 questions to ask a ham. Would you be willing to participate for a few minutes? Over?
Yeah, that's fine. The answer is A on all 5. Go ahead.
Boy, that's the only way to get past the test, or to try to draw a smiley face for sure. First thing I'd ask you there, Jim, is what got you interested in the radio? Over?
Well, I started out when I was about 12 years old. I've been a ham. That was in 1961 or thereabouts. I'm 74 years old now. But anyway, I think my dad, his brother was an engineer for Collins Radio. We lived northeast Missouri, and they lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And anyway, my dad had a few going by projects there that I kind of found laying around and found interesting. And then my uncle he would bring his mobile rig down, of course, when they visited. And so anyway, I'd spend time up there in Cedar Rapids, and he had a shop in the basement, so I got real interested. So he was my Elmer, so kind of exposure to it, I guess. Go ahead.
Very good. That's a great story, especially coming from the family, and then you actually being able to, and the need and the desire to take interest at such an early age. 12 years old is a fun time to start playing radio. I would imagine that era, it was just a bit kind of moving from radio, television, more and more people were almost starting to kind of forget about what you were experiencing then. Very cool. What was your first radio as an amateur then? Over?
It was a modified military surplus BC-457A, and that was novice crystal controlled and Geno all-wave modified, or put in a different case and all for the receiver, and it was an old console radio. And then when I got my General, had a PA amplifier with two pairs of 6B4s and parallel push-pull that would modulate it on AM, and we blasted the airwaves about 50 watts there. Go ahead.
Oh, I do love AM, especially with some of that old classic equipment nowadays. You know what people don't probably even remember or know about anymore is what it was like to be operating a crystal-controlled HF rig in any way, shape, or form. What was it like back then to actually have to send CQ and just kind of wait for somebody to be listening on your frequency? A little bit of downtime, I'd imagine, probably studying there, HI.
Yeah, well, it worked out. I don't remember too much about the weighting and all, but I think I only had a couple crystals or something, and so anyway, it worked out. My uncle had a son about my age, and so he got his license about the same time, and we used to talk back and forth on CW and then other contacts. So one of my greatest experiences, though, was as a novice. We live in northeast Missouri, and I talked to this ham in the Kansas City area so he said, let's do crossband, and so he talked to me on voice, and I talked to him on CW. That was a big experience for me there. Go ahead.
Oh, very neat. Yeah, that'd be very cool, especially back then with what it would actually take to accomplish some of that there. So, Jim, what's your favorite mode anymore these days, and how'd you get interested in it? Over?
Yeah, single sideband. We started out on AM, and then the next step was I still have it. It's HW22A Heathkit. That was my first single sideband rig, and as sideband was just coming in, it was pretty much all AM, and then single sideband came in. But anyway, yeah, we're on single sideband. I've done a little, just a little CW a couple of years back or 3 years back. A friend wanted to try it out. So I got it out until we could hammer out a few words there. Go ahead.
Very good. I'm just starting to get a little bit efficient with a straight key and trying there the CW. Yeah, sideband, I would imagine coming from AM into sideband, that's kind of was the pot of gold back then, and what a joy to still be able to keep with it today. This is N7ECB, 5 questions with the ham Alpha 5 Juliet Sierra there, and I'm curious, any advice to new hams today? Have you got any advice? And if you were going to talk to a group of new hams, what advice would you pass on to them today? Over?
Yeah, well, the first thing is go ahead and get your exercise as soon as you can. One of the things is the most important is antennas, and second most important is the feed line. An SWR is not a big deal if you have low feed line. That's where you lose your power, and also antenna tuner is very good to have, because if you that matches it up to your equipment, but if you can get the SWR down so that you have a match to your equipment, you're good, but you must have low loss feed line. So anyway, I really love loop antennas. I've experimented around with various antennas. I'm on a 40-meter delta loop right now, but anyway, they're very good, easy to put up. So the thing is, the bottom line is have fun, experiment. That's the line, and I enjoy experimenting. I put up an antenna, and I change it around so I get it maximized to my desires, and then I go, well, okay, now we got to try another one now, see what we can do, see if we can beat it. I usually put up 2 antennas so I can do an A to B to see. If you just have one antenna, you may think it's the greatest in the world, but if you put up another one, you find out, holy cow, this other antenna's better. So it's always good to have 2 antennas to compare one against the other. Go ahead.
Boy, I would agree most heartedly. I just put up my second antenna, and what a difference it's making on bands that I needed it for. It's definitely worth the effort there. But I've got just one more question there, as conditions are starting to change a little bit, Jim. The future of ham radio is question mark. If you could answer that, the future of ham radio is, over?
Yeah, well, this is AA5JS. Well, that's unknown, but I would say, everything has changed, and without change, we don't exist. So it's wide open for change. So with follow the technology, there'll be great new achievements in the future. And, for instance, somebody may come up with an antenna that nobody's thought of and works just super great. And, just for instance, I'm on right now on a Mercury 3S solid state amp that has one transistor in the final, which is actually two, but anyway, it's a single unit. And back in the day, that was unheard of. So, the future is it goes back to experimenting. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's amazing what we can play with for just a few dollars anymore. It used to take up an entire desk. Well, nice to make your acquaintance, and I thank you for your patience with me and answering the questions today. I really enjoy the picture of your shack on QRZ there. It's a very clean, beautiful station, and really, really impressed by the picture from 1961. I like seeing that kind of stuff, and they're fun to share and about. Thank you again for answering my call here on 10 Meter this afternoon, Jim. Over.
Yeah, okay, Sean. You take care. You stayed right in there, solid as a rock. So good talking on you. So enjoy talking. We'll see you later there, Sean. N7ECV AA5JS, Abilene, Texas. Saying happy trails.
All right, yeah, happy trails right back from up north here. It's a cold 51 degrees, and we appreciate you taking the time to answer 5 questions for Ham. We'll clear with AA5JS and say 730M. Thank you again. Mighty kind of you. This is November 7 Echo Charlie Victor, any station, anywhere. All right, no reply there. I'm going to take a break. N7ECB, we are QRT.